I know I sound like a broken record, but the market went up today because the bull charge can't be stopped. This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so the market showed some initial signs of pulling back yesterday, but ultimately fizzled out without following through too much and then launched itself higher over the 1382 fib, giving us a new high and expanding wave 3. The biggest thing that happens now is our pivot moves up as we continue to wait for a pullback to test the pivot. Now, I'll get into all that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, so with the push higher today over the 1382, it does cause our pivot to move up. So let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. And as you can see, they did push it up here over the 1382, which was 45.62. They've pushed it up to 45.75. And again, we are still waiting for a significant pullback to test the pivot. It is possible that this pullback over here was the wave 4, this Roman numeral wave 4 down. Okay, but it wasn't very deep. It barely got to the 236 and it didn't follow through at all, but it does have an ABC structure down. And if they continue to push this higher up to the 1618 up here at 46.3625, okay, I might have to consider that this pullback here was this Roman numeral 4. However, we will still continue to look for a pullback to test the pivot, as I'm not sold on this being that wave 4 just yet. And as we push higher, guys, that means the pivot moves up. So the pivot starts at the 0.618 up to the 0.764 extensions of waves 1 and 2, okay? That's the typical pivot, and it stays that way, assuming we don't push up over the 1382. However, when you do push up over the 1382, the pivot moves up 1 fib, okay? So now it comes from the 1.0 at 44.4275 down to the 764, which is 43.69. So as it stands right now, if this is the top, and it may or may not be, they can still push this higher, guys. If this is the top, okay, then our numbers look like this for the pullback. For the wave 4 pullback, our first target would be 44.4850, which is the 382 retrace, okay, and that's the most common target for a wave 4. And then if that doesn't hold, we would look for 44.09 to hold, which is the 50% retrace and the second most common target for a wave 4. And if that doesn't hold, guys, it's not a good sign with the 50% breaks here, but we are still in the pivot. So then our line in the sand becomes 43.69. If they push through the 43.69 level, then it's going to look like a failed rally up, okay? And it becomes a bear market rally, and it looks like we will come back down and test the lows at that point. Now, on the other side of the coin, if they do continue to push higher as they've done, and they push it all the way up to the 1618 at 46.36, this is a common target for wave 3, okay? All of wave 3, not just 3 of 3 that we're in right now. So this is a common wave 3 target, and if they push directly up there, then we'll watch the pullback to see how deep it comes. But in that instance, I will start to consider this pullback as that Roman numeral 4, and this 3 is being in if we see a pullback from there. Now, again, we will want to see how that pullback takes shape and how deep it comes, but it is possible, okay, that this was wave 4, Roman numeral 4 here, and we're completing wave 3 up towards that 46.36 area, and we would see a pullback from there. So what we're looking for on the ES is either a pullback, okay, to test the pivot and finally give us this Roman numeral 4 here. Again, our line in the sand is 43.69, and our other two targets, our main target is 44.48, and then 44.09 are the other two targets for that pullback. So that's the main path that we're looking for. However, if they do continue to push this higher up towards this 46.36 level, it does look like all of wave 3 is in. We'll have to see how that pullback looks, and then we may have to adjust our count from there. Okay, guys? So again, pullback from here or in this area is what we're looking for to test the pivot. The pivot has moved up. The top of the pivot is now the 1.0 at 44.42, and the bottom of the pivot is the 764 at 43.69, and that is our line in the sand for the bullish move up. Okay, guys, over on the NASDAQ. Very similar setup to the ES, okay, except it's already up to its 1618, okay, so it's pushed this pretty high. There's a potential that this, when it tops, could be all of wave 3, and then we'd get this bigger wave 4 down, and then that bigger wave 5 higher, okay, but I think right now we're still going to call it 3 of 3 and kind of see if we do come back to test this pivot on the NASDAQ. Now, the NASDAQ pivot has moved up as well. It is now at 14,392 down to 14,175. So as we watch the NASDAQ, okay, our two paths are, one is a pullback to test the pivot. And we would expect that pullback to hold 14,410 first. Okay, that's the 38.2 retrace, which is the most common wave 4 target. Then the 50% at 14,230, and then our line in the sand, guys, is 14,175. But really, you want to see this hold the 38 or 50, because when the 50 breaks, it is not a great sign for the move up. So we want to see this hold the 38 or 50, and if it does break through 14,175, that's a strong indication that the move up has failed. Conversely, if they want to continue pushing here, okay, the next fib up is the 2.0 at 15,309. And if they continue pushing directly to that, I will likely call that wave 3 in conjunction with ES hitting the 1618. We will likely look at that being the big wave 3, but it will really depend on how those pullbacks and then moves up after that play out. So very similar to yesterday, guys, looking for a pullback to test the pivot, but of course they can push higher, and we're going to let the bulls continue to run this out. Do not short wave 3s, guys. Don't get in the way of this train. Every time you think you've got it figured out, they continue to push higher. So remember, we're looking for a pullback to test the pivot. That's our primary path. I still think we need a pullback into this area. And then if that doesn't happen, the next fib up, as I said, on the NASDAQ is 15,309, and then similar setup on the ES. Guys, if you like the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Click that link. It'll take you right over to the website, and check out our membership plans area. We have 2 amazing plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial, because I want you to get in there, try everything out, understand what's going on, and make sure you love it before you ever pay a penny. Okay, guys, I treat my traders like family in there. I take care of them. It's a very awesome group in there. There's some people with some different skill sets than mine that bring incredible information to the trading room. So it's a lot of fun. It's a big family, and we're all making money together, and we'd love to have you in there. We have 2 incredible rooms. The first one is the Invest with Jacob room. In that room, you get my real-time market updates, my buy and sell alerts, and I answer all of your Elliott Wave questions. Now, we do swing trade in there. So swing trades last from a few days to a few weeks, up to months, and they trade a little bit less than day trading, where you're trading almost every day. We only trade the SPY and the QQQ. All right, so if you're looking for day trading and you're looking for individual stocks, you need to check out PT's throne room right here. And that one, you get my room, okay, plus you get access to PT, who is one of the best traders I've ever seen. He uses a reduced risk binary trading method that it's so unique and awesome. You just have to see it to believe it. So get in there and check it out. You get that 7-day free trial to make sure you love it. And in that room, again, you get day trading, individual stocks, and the indexes as well. All right, guys, key takeaways for today. We are going to see if the bulls are running out of steam or not. So far, they have had plenty of energy off of that low. We need them to come back and test the pivot. But if they do want to continue pushing higher, okay, the next target up is 46.36. And at that point, we may consider that being all of wave 3, just depending on how we pull back from that area. Over on the NASDAQ, same type of situation. Although they're up at the 1618, they can push up to the 2.0 at 15,309. But our primary path is still having them pull back and test the pivot down around that 14,410 area to 14,230, with a line in the sand being that 14,175 area at the bottom of the pivot. All right, guys, that is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.